Oh, yeah, that's another thing. The pardon of Joe Arpaio and the Trumpster going all in on cuts of transgender people in the military. Greetings, my friends, and welcome. It's great to have you. Rush Limbaugh, the EIB Network. This is the nation's most listened to radio talk show. And we are here yet again with more broadcast excellence. 800-282-2882 if you want to be on the program, and the email address is lrushbo@eibnet.us. I was making a joke after the protests in Charlottesville. I said, why don't we just go ahead and ban Gone with the Wind? Let's ban the movie, let's ban the book. They've banned the movie. Gone with the Wind, a landmark movie, one which has been beloved since its record-breaking 1939 release. Now the Orpheum Theater downtown Memphis has decided to stop showing it, as, in the words of one citizen, it has somehow been placed in the tributes to white supremacy category. Memphis-based Orpheum Theater, whose stated mission is to entertain, educate, and enlighten, will no longer show Gone with the Wind, the officials of the theater announced Friday. Brett Batterson, president of the Orpheum Theater Group, in a statement said the Orpheum cannot show a film that is insensitive to a large segment of its local population. The film was last screened at the theater on August 11th and had been a 34-year tradition at the Orpheum. You make a joke about the left. I mean, it was a staple at this theater. It was a staple. It was a staple at theaters in Atlanta. I don't know how many other theaters will now follow suit and refuse to show the movie, but these things are trending. And they are copycat. Once they start happening, other people want to get in on the bandwagon. So it's probably just the beginning of such a thing. The New York Times ran an op-ed recently wondering if football fans are racist. You knew this was coming. The sports media is all in on Colin Kaepernick. And they're all in on the notion that white NFL owners are racist and are banning Kaepernick because he's black or half black and because he disrespects the flag and all this other stuff. And they're ignoring the fact that, on balance, Kaepernick hasn't been able to play. And they're forgetting that Kaepernick, he was offered a contract by the 49ers. He walked out on his contract. He said he didn't want it. It's not as though he was not offered a chance to play. He was. Here's the excerpt from the New York Times op-ed. Yet we should not be so sure that white fans' willingness to support black athletes on the gridiron entails a genuine acceptance of racial equality, nor their inclusion of black people more broadly in the we that is supposed to be number one. Now, what this guy is saying is that it used to be that white fans supporting sports figures who are African American, people used to say, what do you mean America's racist? How can that be? Look at the numbers of people that watch the NFL. It's 75% black. Look at the number of people that pay tickets, buy advertising. Look at the financial support that enterprise has, and you're telling me that white people are racist, and this guy, the New York Times, is coming along saying that doesn't count anymore. You can't say that white fans' willingness to support black athletes means they are genuinely accepting of racial equality. Can't say that. They could still be racist as pigs. Same thing with white acceptance of black entertainers and white exploitation of the physical labor of black persons long predates. Did I not predict this? Folks, I'm going to tell you exactly what this editorial is about by reminding you of my prediction. When the world decided Well, when the American left decided that the National Football League was going to become a target, and they did it on many levels. They did it on safety, the number of concussions. They attacked the NFL in any number of ways. I mean, this started years ago, and I remember waving the flags, trying to get people to pay attention. This is not going to end. It's not going to roll off. It's not just a one-off. They're not going to quit until they have created a public consciousness that football is bad, that football kills, that football maims, that football harms, and they're not going to quit until they've been able to create a public consciousness that the game is bad. And once they succeed in that, then the NFL's days as it exists are numbered. And I said, wait until these leftist activists figure out that they can equate this to slavery. And I had people call, what do you mean? How in the world was this? I said, because who owns the teams in the NFL? Are they all not predominantly white? They are. Yeah, but Rush, look at how much money they're being paid. I know, but look at what's happening to them. They're dying early. They're committing suicide. They're suffering concussions and other injuries that are shortening their lives. I said it isn't going to be long before the left starts figuring this out and putting this all together and equating what's going on here in the NFL to its own brand of white supremacy or master-slave circumstances. And it's now starting. And the way the New York Times is getting into this is to suggest that football fans are racist. Well, they're asking the question. They're raising the specter of football fans being racist. This is from the editorial, many contemporary white fans' responses to players of color, when those players express political views like Kaepernick, behave in ways that make them uncomfortable or make mistakes. Many are content, white fans, many are content to identify with black football players for as long as they are useful on the field, to imaginatively project themselves into the physical power and hypermasculinity that fans imagine the players embody, and to discard and denigrate them when they don't play their parts as expected. So you see, even as far as the fans are concerned, African-American players are nothing more than temporary objects of admiration. But it's not for any reason other than the fans wish they could do what these players do. But when these players stop playing, when they reach an age where they're no longer superstars, the white fans discard them like they never existed before. And that's because the white fans are racist. To treat them, as Malcolm X put it when describing his own experiences as a popular student and athlete in a predominantly white school, like mascots. So white fans of the NFL treat the players like mascots. It's not satire, folks. It's not. This is what's. It's like this flap with the Southern Poverty Law Center. This is a fantastically illustrative event. The Southern Poverty Law Center, to the American left, is one of the greatest institutions of freedom and openness and non-racism, and it's just a wonder because that's what they've been told that it is by the media. That's how it's been presented. But people who really know understand that the Southern Poverty Law Center is, in fact, one of the top 5 hate groups in the country. And they label any conservative group that disagrees with what they believe in as a hate group. For example, if you don't believe in gay marriage, and if you're part of a group, be it religious or cultural, that does not believe in gay marriage, and the Southern Poverty Law Center finds out about you, they immediately put you on their list of hate groups in America. Because if you disagree with gay marriage, that means you automatically hate lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgenders. So you get put on the list, and the left thinks that that list is inarguable. The left thinks that the Southern Poverty Law Center is it's just a magnificent organization which is identifying evil and hate throughout America, and that's not what it is at all. It is its own brand of hate. So, after Charlottesville, Apple Incorporated and J.P. Morgan Chase both announced massive million-dollar donations to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, when you look at both of these companies, are they in the interests of antagonizing their customers? No. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So maybe they don't really know what the Southern Poverty Law Center is. These are CEOs, and what they think they're doing is following popular public opinion. CEOs happen to be, in both cases, extreme leftists, and that's a relevant fact. And so their knowledge of and perception of the Southern Poverty Law Center is totally different than what the truth of the Southern Poverty... What kind of name is this? It's Southern Poverty Law Center. Well, what is that? It's a silly name, and it's not indicative of anything that they do. They hate the South. They're not anything about poverty. They don't do a damn thing about poverty. And in terms of Law Center, this is a name that's just guaranteed to attract donations. But these CEOs and others who are making donations and then making it possible for their customers to also donate to this group. You have to ask, are these CEOs literally trying to antagonize every conservative, every Republican, which is more than half the country? Are they really trying to do that? Or do they just not know what the Southern Poverty Law Center really is because they don't challenge anything that they see or read in their media? Now, it could be a little bit of both, or a lot of one and some of the other. But this is genuine ignorance. To think the Southern Poverty Law Center is something that advances the American ideal is absurd. The Southern Poverty Law Center is its own brand of hate. It's exclusionary, it's discriminatory, it's mean-spirited, it's extremist. It is everything that it claims to stand against. So this idea of just following along, like if one theater cancels Gone with the Wind, you can damn well guarantee there's going to be others. If the New York Times comes along and says that white NFL fans are racist, I mean, what would even make one start thinking that way? You have to be a little bit race conscious to even start thinking that way. I've often pointed out, how racist can America really be when the wealthiest and most popular American TV personality is an overweight African-American woman? How can that be? Well, according to the New York Times, it's white guilt. White guilt is forcing people to watch Oprah. They feel sorry for the circumstances that Oprah had to face as a young girl and other African-American women, and this is the way they make it up to them, by offering them fake and faux appreciation. They don't really like Oprah, but it's a hip and cool thing to do, and it sends a signal that they're not racist, but in fact they are. That's how the left analyzes white people watching Oprah, and now white fans of the NFL. They are secretly racist, or maybe, in fact, now openly racist. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They are the ones who are race conscious. They're the ones race focused. And as such, they are doing everything they can to divide people in this country along the lines of race, while claiming to unify and all this other happy malarkey. So the fight and the effort to deal with it goes on. But it's frustrating as it can be. A lot of it seems inexplicable. But if you understand liberals, like I do, everything they do makes perfect sense if you understand them. And it's eminently predictable as well. Quick time out. I got to take it here, folks. We'll be back with much more after this.